Well, all right, folks. I had a really cool intro that I was going to do, but I forgot it.
You completely forgot it?
Yeah, I totally forgot it. This was like 2 or 3 days ago when I knew we were going to do this movie. I totally forgot it. I wish I'd remembered because it was cool from the memory.
You remember that it was cool.
I remember that it was cool. That's all I remember. But welcome, everybody, to the I Seen It Movie Reviews podcast. I'm your host, Jerry Saylor. In the studio with us tonight, as always, my two best friends, the two best dudes that anybody could ever ask for in the entire world. I realize I haven't been introducing you guys.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've introduced myself on the past couple podcasts, so just don't hate me, y'all. If I did,
It's all good.
I'm sorry. Don't kill me. But, like I was saying, my two best friends in the whole wide world, he is my right-hand man. He sits on my left side. His name is Dusty B.
Hey. What's up, everybody?
Not much, man. Just got done seeing this badass flick, man. I want to sit down and talk to y'all about it.
Yeah.
Get your thoughts and opinions on it.
I like it.
Across the table, he's wearing a red shirt. It's got a lightning bolt on it.
It's the Flash.
Yeah. Why don't you flash this real quick, man? Is that what that's for? Oh, wait, wrong podcast. Yeah. Tim Holmes, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
So, like I said, we just got done watching this awesome flick. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not. It's called Death Wish, starring Bruce Willis, Elizabeth Shue. Who else was in it? Notable.
That guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. What's his name?
Hank.
Yeah.
I was going to say Hank. Yeah.
He also played The Thing in the old Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
No, that was Michael Chiklis.
Yeah.
The guy that was his brother played in Jurassic
Oh,
World.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah. That guy.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
He got ate by a raptor.
A raptor ate me.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, there really wasn't anybody that I noticed in it that I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. I really wish there would have been a Charles Bronson cameo.
Yeah.
But I think he might be dead. So I'm not for sure. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've seen the original Death Wish movies, but it's been like forever and a day. So I can't really say that I remember a whole lot about them. So I'm not even going to compare this movie to the older movies because honestly I think it stands on its own 2 feet all by itself. It's not a sequel. You can call it a reboot, but
this is actually based on a book, too.
Called?
I guess Death Wish.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Mm-hmm.
So, were the original movies based on a book? The same book, I should say?
This film takes place in Chicago.
Right.
As opposed to New York, where the novel and the original film took place.
Right.
Interesting to note that in the original film, Death Wish ended with the main character, Paul Kersey, moving to Chicago, as well as the novel's sequel, Death Sentence, taking place in the same city, too.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So it kind of is a reboot, because, I mean, I guess it is the same character, essentially.
Like a pickup where it left off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Maybe.
Well, no, wouldn't.
Maybe he'll move to New York in the next one.
Yeah, kind of flip it around on them. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say they picked up where they left off because, like I said, this movie it stands on its own 2 feet all by itself. It doesn't need the originals at all.
I've never saw the originals.
I mean, I think me and Tim were talking on the way back from the theater. Like the first one was like serious and like really awesome, and then like the more of the sequels they made, it just kind of got like comedic and less serious, I guess you could say. Yeah. But like I said, we're not going to compare the films. We may talk about them here and there, but it's been too long for me to recall exactly if they were awesome. Like I know the first one was good, and like up to like 4 I think they made. They were decent, but anyway, we're talking about Death Wish 2018, starring Bruce Willis and a handful of other people, mainly Elizabeth Shue, which she's looking good in her old age.
That was his wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that was Elizabeth Shue, wasn't it?
I'll look it up and I'm reading through the
I'm pretty
trivia
sure
right
that
now.
was Elizabeth Shue.
I'm seeing if there's any extra.
Looked a lot like her. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Elizabeth Shue. She's looking older, but she's looking good. She's looking fit. I'll give her that. Whoever she is, I'm pretty sure it was Elizabeth Shue, though.
Here's an interesting trivia bit.
Ooh.
In the film, Bruce Willis's character, this comes from IMDb, so it seems to be pretty reputable.
Yeah, that's legit.
Learns to fire a Glock by watching YouTube show called Full Metal Tactics, hosted by real-life Green Beret Sean Vance. Roth named the show as a nod to Willis's co-star Vincent D'Onofrio, who starred in Full Metal.
Jacket.
Yeah. That's honestly, I've never made that connection.
It was Elizabeth Shue. Just confirming that.
Oh, good deal. Thanks for that.
Elizabeth Shue and Vincent D'Onofrio appeared together in Adventures in Babysitting,
Yeah.
where he played Thor. Well, he was a mechanic, but he puts on to the girl. The little girl thinks he's Thor.
Wow, coming full circle, man.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
So, dude, that's hard to believe that that's Elizabeth Shue. Like when I think back on Adventures in Babysitting,
she was young.
Yeah, like a teenager.
Yeah. Well, she was probably in her
back
20s
then too.
Oh yeah, Elizabeth Shue was hot. She and still is really.
Yeah.
Still got it going on, man. She's probably in her 50s. She's looking good.
I couldn't pick her out from.
Couldn't pick her out of a lineup of
Let me ask
Jewish
you this.
Santa Clauses.
All considered to play the role of Paul Kersey.
I think Bruce Willis did a great job.
I will talk about that in just a second, but I want you guys to...
Hold on.
Okay.
What do you think, man? Do you think
What,
Bruce
the
Willis...
movie?
Yeah, did Bruce Willis do a good job?
Yeah, I liked Bruce Willis. I can't. I'd have to. It'd take me a while to think of somebody else that could have played that pretty well.
Yeah,
I
mean,
think Bruce Willis did a good job.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of
I can't
anybody.
think of anybody
See, in the
either.
beginning, I didn't really buy his acting at all. Like when he was playing like happy-go-lucky Paul Kersey.
Yeah.
Like that scene at the soccer thing. It just doesn't feel... I love Bruce Willis. I love him. I've seen him do awesome acting.
Right.
Films like...
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, exactly. Another film, Whole 9 Yards.
Right.
But this, I don't know. He seems... And I guess it was his character to play like kind of...
You're used to Bruce Willis being
On
a badass
antidepressants.
all the time.
Yeah, he seemed like so chill.
Right. Well, he's a doctor. He's like a surgeon or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of has to be like chill, but like on edge. You know, I'm sure being a doctor or a surgeon
And here's the
would
thing,
put
is
you
like,
on edge.
I never really got the like intensity from him. And jumping ahead to the climax of the film when he's having a conversation very much like Rambo First Blood with his brother Vincent D'Onofrio, and his brother's telling him to stand down, and the police are outside, and things are very, very dramatic. I just didn't buy it from him.
Yeah, he definitely... I'll agree with you on that. He didn't really bring that level of intensity that you would expect from
When he
somebody
can't
who's
find
avenging his family.
When he can't find his father's watch... And by the way, the watch, there's a lot of watch storyline in this film, which is very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Pulp Fiction and you
If
remember
you're a
the
fan
whole...
of Bruce Willis, there's a couple times, and well, I guess it's mainly Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of
Like-
sets the bar.
Yeah, there's a scene in like the fence, the bar that's like the fence place where
Yeah.
he's trying to get his stuff back.
Right.
I felt was very callback to Pulp Fiction when
Yeah.
he's fighting Zed and all them.
Yeah.
Seemed like kind of like the same kind of set. But again, that's Pulp Fiction.
Right. Well, I mean, the movie is directed by Eli Roth.
Who's a huge fan of Quentin
Yeah. I
Tarantino.
mean, like, they're buddies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I can see that as being like a nod to him.
But what I was getting to was the intensity that you see in the scene where he can't find his father's watch because his girlfriend didn't pick it up. It was sitting on the nightstand.
In Pulp Fiction,
and
yeah.
the kangaroo ashtray or whatever. That was way more intense, I think, acting from him. than it
Acting
was-
wise, yeah.
But
I
I mean,
agree.
he's older. And he's playing a different role. But I don't know. I miss old Bruce Willis, or young Bruce Willis, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you say old Bruce Willis, that's kind of
Yeah.
what you're watching now.
That is what we're watching.
Yeah.
So, okay, tell me if you think any of these actors would have done it better, because these are all considered for the role according to IMDb.
I don't know about you, Dusty, but I thought Bruce Willis did good.
I was excited
You know,
when
I can't see anybody else doing the role.
Do you not want me to read the
No,
actors?
no, I mean, go
Okay.
ahead.
I
Yeah.
can't think of
Kurt Russell, Michael Keaton, Christopher Lambert.
Well, now, hold on. Let me stop you right there for just a second here. Michael Keaton, he is the best Batman, but I don't know. I
Okay.
kind of like to see
I was surprised to see Christopher Lambert. I mean, like,
who
that's...
the hell is that?
He was in, like, Mortal Kombat. He was the first one. He was
Raiden?
Raiden, yeah.
Nah.
Highlander as well.
I feel like I'm in Highlander right now.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid.
He's fucking nut. I'm sorry, I just dropped the F-bomb. He's nutty in real life.
Richard Gere. You think you're thinking of his
Richard
brother.
Gere?
Yeah, I'm thinking Randy
Quaid.
Quaid. Yeah, that's
Richard
right.
Gere, really?
Mel Gibson.
I can
No.
see that.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
I can see Mel Gibson.
Harrison
Maybe.
Ford.
Yeah,
He's too
Too
old.
old. Yeah.
Don Johnson.
No.
Peter Weller. Ron Perlman.
Wait a minute. Peter Weller.
I don't know who that is.
That name sounds so familiar, but I can't place him.
Stephen Lang. Michael Biehn. B-I-E-H-N. I don't know who that is. Tommy Lee Jones, Jeff Bridges, and Arnold Schwarzenegger were all considered to play him.
Nah.
Bruce Willis they picked the best one.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis is way
I think
better.
Michael Keaton,
Michael Keaton would have
Mel
been.
Gibson.
Yeah,
I think
Gibson.
Mel Gibson would have been probably pretty decent.
I just like Michael Keaton. Period.
Yeah.
You could put him in anything.
When Michael Keaton turns on the crazy switch.
Oh yeah,
And
I was gonna say like in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
Spider-Man,
Well, like
sure.
Michael Keaton as a bad guy is just it's one of my favorite things to
His
see.
intensity is palpable.
Oh yeah. Even as Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
like his intensity for that like comedic role was like.
Oh, you want
God.
to get nuts scene from Batman? He's like,
So-
you want to get nuts?
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, come on.
Well, I mean, Batman's like on a
not a level.
Period.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Keaton, if you're watching, you were the best Batman.
We love you.
Yeah, love you lots.
Christian Bale.
Nah.
I don't see Christian Bale as being in this role either.
No.
Has anybody else on the list?
He was just saying
That's
Christian
Batman.
Bale's
Oh,
the best
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't take away the Dark Knight.
No.
Yeah.
You'd have to say, could Michael Keaton have done the Dark Knight better than Christian Bale? And the answer is no.
Well, I don't know. That's a damn good question. I mean,
If he can't do the Batman better than Christian Bale in the Dark Knight, then one's a better
okay,
Batman.
let's be honest here.
We're
Christian
getting into
Bale.
Batman.
Yeah, I hate to get off topic here, but
We brought up Batman.
yeah, let's be honest here, okay? The Dark Knight was awesome because of Heath Ledger, not because of Christian Bale.
I have to let that sink in.
Let that sink in for a minute, boys. Like, don't get me wrong. I loved Batman Begins. I thought it was great. I thought Christian Bale did a great job with the whole backstory and becoming the Batman.
What, with the Scarecrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and the Ra's al Ghul, I thought that was great.
Some of it.
But when Dark Knight came out, Heath Ledger was the reason that movie was so awesome.
But hold on a second.
Because they could have put somebody in there that sucked, and that movie would not have been as good.
I don't think anybody knew what to expect from Heath Ledger, though.
Yeah. It was a big surprise, I think, for a lot of
I don't think
people.
anybody knew what to expect. So.
I mean, this is a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we want to go down,
It is.
but I know if we should talk about Batman: The Dark Knight sometime and really
At
get
some
into
point,
it
yeah.
because we could do a 2-hour-long podcast
Oh,
on
I
we
could
should
do it all
watch
day.
it and then just up and leave on Jerry.
Hey, for the record, that
Just
was
drop the
Dark
mic.
Knight Rises.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
But the interrogation scene.
Are we talking Batman?
Yes, for 1 second. With Heath Ledger, I mean, Heath Ledger obviously sells that moment. But you have to give it to Christian Bale for playing across the table from him, slamming his head down. Like, trivia, Heath Ledger told Christian Bale to come at him hard.
Yeah.
And Christian Bale does. He comes at him hard.
He goes hard in jail.
And you can't take away from that performance. I'm sorry. Like, Christian Bale did. Maybe he's. I don't know. I can't say he's not the best Batman because I believe that he is. But I don't think anybody could have done it better than Christian Bale of the Batman that we have.
But if somebody else had been in Heath Ledger's role, they probably wouldn't have said, "Hey,
The Dark
Christian
Knight
Bale, come at me hard."
right.
You know.
And we wouldn't be sitting here talking about The Dark Knight probably.
Exactly.
You're right.
Point taken.
I'll give you that.
Michael Keaton. So back to Death Wish here, okay? If you're familiar with any of the other Death Wish films, you know it's a revenge film. Basically, in this flick, Bruce Willis and his wife, daughter, they go out, they're having a good time or whatever. The wife slips up. Not really slips up, just kind of carelessly mentions that they're not going to be home on a certain day and a certain time while they're picking up their car at the valet. Valet guy picks up on this, goes and gets their car, gets their home address
From the GPS.
from the GPS built into the car. Yeah.
And because they live in an affluent neighborhood,
Yeah.
a wealthy neighborhood,
Decides, hey, I'm going to pass this information along to some of my homies. They can go and rob this dude while they're not home. Well, something comes up. Bruce Willis has to go into work. Wife and daughter stay home. They do make a trip to the store. While they're at the store, the guys break in. They're still there when they come in.
because they expect them to be gone.
They expect
much
them to be
longer.
gone a lot longer, yeah. And wife dies, daughter gets hurt. She's in a coma for like all the movie except for like the last like 10 minutes. And Bruce Willis kind of goes off the deep end. The cops are at a standstill. They can't find any clues, any hints or anything. And Bruce Willis just kind of goes out on his own, starts his little vigilante thing. And through a series of coincidental incidents, I guess you could say, he finds one of the guys.
He finds a trail.
Well, he finds a trail where he ultimately finds the guys who did it and kills a slew of them in the process.
The valet guy.
Yeah, the
Got
valet
the
guy,
address,
whoever heard, yeah.
Came in because he was shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody had shot him, realized he's wearing one of the items that was stolen from his house, takes the guy's cell phone,
Yada,
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 yada. Yeah.
His hoodie.
Yeah, steals his hoodie too. Yeah.
And this is something I like about the movie, but this is the crucial turning point in the film. What we're talking about right now, is
Where he sees the watch.
at this point he's killed 2 people, or he's acted as a vigilante twice, in incidents.
Yeah.
And when the young man is brought in and he's passed away, he sees his wristwatch while trying to save the guy's life. And this is a transitional moment in the film because he has been acting as a vigilante.
Yeah, I would say it goes from him being a vigilante with no set
goal just
to
cleaning up the crime.
Yeah, to hey, now I've got a goal.
And he even has a moment where he's sitting in his office and he's looking at the cell phone and he's looking at the wristwatch and he's looking at the business card that the cop gave him, and he tries to call him.
Yeah.
Tries to give up. He tries to say,
I think the moment where where he realizes what his goal is when he's looking through the dude's phone and he sees the picture of the GPS in the dash. Like, he realizes then that was the guy who set it up.
Right.
Like, he had his hand in it.
Right. Well, I mean, I think he puts 2 and 2 together where he thinks, I've got enough evidence to get these guys locked up and justice be served.
Right.
You know, there's 2 different paths that he could take here.
And like you said, he does call the cop, but the cop doesn't answer. Typical.
And
overworked, understaffed. You know
and I guess we, as the audience, can recall back to his wife's funeral, where he's with his father-in-law, and his father-in-law stops because there's poachers on his property.
That was a crazy scene. I thought the old man was just going nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize what he was looking at.
When he bent down in front of the car.
Yeah. I thought he was like having a heart attack.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
what's going on? But then he grabs his heater.
You call it his boomstick?
Boomstick.
His
Yeah.
rifle.
What kind of rifle was that?
I thought it
It
was
was
a
just a
shotgun.
lever action.
Nothing fancy about it?
No, I don't think so.
But he says to him, "We have to protect what's ours."
Right.
Because the cops get there.
We rely on
after
the police
scene of
too
the crime.
much. Yeah.
And if you get there, or if you can catch crime happening, you have the responsibility, I guess, to stop and protect what's yours.
Right.
And I think all of that kind of rings in his ears when he is looking at all this evidence, and he thinks, "Well, this is it." I mean, if he got a hold of the detective, movie's over.
Right.
Because
Good
they
point
would
there.
catch on. I mean, like, you have all the key pieces to solve this crime. Is what the detective says to him.
Yeah.
We got to wait for someone to come in on a lesser crime and give us a name,
They'll
and
rat.
then we chase it down.
Right.
And this is the moment. So, I mean, like, it's a crucial part of the film, and where I lost a little bit of heart in the film, because what I was hoping to see from Death Wish was much more of a Batman-esque story, where he's going to just
Got to
stop
bring it back to
crime.
Batman, doesn't he? Why
Yeah,
does he gotta do that?
always brings it back to Batman. And that's what I was expecting to see. I was expecting to see I've got to stop crime in the city for the betterment of the city. The guys that killed my family, or hurt my family, we can't find them. so I'm going to stop other people's families from being hurt the same way mine did. There were 6 break-ins up until his.
6 and 9 months.
6 and 9 months.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought the movie was going to be. But, you know, then it changes into a more personal revenge film.
Right on.
What did you like about the film?
I mean, I liked it from beginning to end. There really wasn't any point in the movie that I was like, man, this sucks. You know, like I was pretty well entertained throughout the whole flick. I will say it's directed by Eli Roth, which if you're familiar with his work, you know it's usually like super bloody, super gory. Love me some good Eli Roth. This is probably the most serious flick that I've ever seen Eli Roth do. Like there was really only 2-3 scenes that were like, "Ooh, there's a lot of blood right there," you know, which I think is very, very...
Saw some brains.
Yeah. It's very unlike Eli Roth, in my opinion, to do a movie and not have, like, tons of blood, tons of gore. But, like, when the car fell on the dude and, like, you see it, like, smash his head and his brains go everywhere.
What about cutting
that was
the
the money
sciatic
shot.
nerve? And
The
leg?
whole torture scene there. I mean, yeah, that was kind of, like, very hostile-esque.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I liked it.
I thought it was a really fun scene.
The best part of the whole movie for me, though, was during all those scenes, Tim sitting next to me going, "Oh my God, dude, I'm gonna throw up popcorn." Oh,
I was shaking through a couple scenes in this movie.
Yeah,
I was shook.
But I mean, like I said, I was entertained from beginning to end. There was no point in the movie where I was like, "Man, this is kind of lame," or "That didn't make sense," or "I didn't like that." You know, it just kind of flowed. Like it was fun. But it wasn't like over actiony. It wasn't like super violent or gun violent. I mean, I wouldn't say this is like a real like a super violent movie like I was expecting. I thought it was going to be a way more violent, way more bloody, lot more guns, kind of like Punisher-esque.
Yeah.
Not so much Batman,
but
a lot more like
Marvel.
Yeah, a lot more Marvel than DC. And I kind of got the Punisher vibe from it a little bit. But, like I said, it definitely wasn't overly violent. It wasn't gratuitous in the violence or the blood or the gore. I think it was just the right amount.
In comparison to Eli Roth's other films.
In comparison to Eli Roth's other films, it was light on the gore. That's for sure.
I heard Green Inferno is pretty insane.
Yeah, I heard it was like super bloody, super gory. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I kind of heard it sucked, really.
I heard it sucked too, but I heard it was pretty insane though.
For like a person that loves gore, I'm sure they loved it. Yeah. Dusty B, what about you? What are your thoughts on this flick? What'd you like? What you didn't like?
I liked it.
What would you have changed, if anything?
I like the ice cream man scene.
Yes,
that's probably my favorite.
That was kind of funny. I thought.
I laughed the whole time he was sitting there shooting the dude, and I was like, "Oh man, get him!" And all of a sudden, everybody ran up, and started grabbing all his shit out of the cooler.
Grabbed all his drugs he was selling.
Yeah.
I thought that was. I mean, that probably has happened in real life.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think all the scenes were good. Like all the gunfights were good. The whole bowling ball scene falling on the dude's head. Come on, really?
That did seem very like Deus Ex Machina, Deus Ex Bowling Ball.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. As soon as I saw that, like the bowling ball before it even moved, like I was like, that's probably gonna fall on somebody.
Well, they kind of shot it right when he walked, because he walked into the liquor store, and all of a sudden he just looks up like, why are they showing bowling trophies in a bowling ball? And that was it. And then I was kind of like, something's going to happen with that. And sure enough, when I saw him fall, I'm like, something's going to fall on that dude.
Him swinging that guitar.
That was cool.
That was cool.
That was another scene where Tim was like, "Oh my God!" Oh! That was pretty funny. Yeah. And it was a BC Rich Warlock, which I thought if he would have like stabbed the dude with it, would probably been a little bit better.
He's definitely an axe man.
Yeah, definitely.
That was cool.
So nothing you really didn't like, or?
No, I mean the whole at the end where he's like, well, I went to the gun store and I got a gun and things like that, and what he kills the last guy with is a fully automatic rifle, which it would have taken like almost 1.5 years to 2 years to get a license for that, and a tax stamp, and it would have took like 3 days.
So the realism of the movie.
That was the only thing I could think of for the realism part, but I mean I liked the movie. I thought it was good.
Right on.
I didn't know it was an Eli Roth movie till like
Till, like, the very
I was
end,
like,
yeah.
oh, it's a Eli Roth movie. I didn't know it. So,
I thought the film teetered on the balance, or like it couldn't make up its mind if it was going to be a more serious movie or a more fun movie. And that might be, it might have been in conflict with things that were happening, the year that it was being made. They couldn't decide which way they were going to go with it.
Right.
He was kind of lighthearted through like a lot of scenes where he's like, when his wife died, he was just kind of like, he had a single tear thing, and I was like, dude, I would have been way more tore up than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have thought, I just would have thought he would have been more. I don't know. There's some scenes where he's just kind of like, oh, everything's all
Maybe
good.
in the director's cut, we'll get a deleted scene of him just crying like a bitch for like
I was
15
expecting
minutes.
it, and then him getting all pissed off and be like, fuck this, I'm going to do whatever it takes.
But there was like, for a guy who's a surgeon, I mean, he has like one scene where he did the torture scene where he's talking about like medical.
He's using his medical knowledge to torture the guy.
Yeah.
Right. I really liked how the scene where he's like taking the gun apart and stuff, and like putting it back together, and then like it does like a cut scene with like him like
removing bullets.
Yeah, and then like doing like surgical stuff. I'm like, that was really cool, showing like he's really good with his hands, and he's obviously a quick learner. I mean, it doesn't take like a 5-minute YouTube video to learn how to disassemble a gun. I mean,
right.
It's not very hard once you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that like he was just like bam, 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 knocking it out.
Right.
And then it was like cut with scenes of him like stitching and pulling bullets and stuff like that. That was really cool.
Yeah, that's so like a lot of times like when he's being shown his wife and his daughter and stuff like that, they don't use a lot of like medical lingo. I think if the movie was a little more realistic, they would have been like explaining to him what exactly had happened and stuff. When his daughter's coming out of a coma, the process there, or even the process while she was in the coma, which she was a part of a lot of, they don't go into like medical. And if the movie was more serious, I think it would have gone. It would have focused more on like the medical side. I mean, to play true to his character as a surgeon.
Right.
And when she's brought out of the coma,
but I think the reason they didn't do that is because they probably thought the demographic of people who are going to watch this movie don't care about all that medical lingo.
But that's the thing. Like, if it's going to be a fun movie, then they should have just gone with the fun, like Sons of Anarchy. What's that one where the guy's like faking to be a cop in Pennsylvania in Amish country? That show's insane. Like
That's Cinemax, isn't it?
Yeah,
on Cinemax.
Yes, I think so.
I can't think of the name of that one, but I know what you're talking about.
There's plenty of like hardcore balls to the wall, Fast and the Furious logic style movies and TV shows.
Right.
And this movie, like, it just kind of...
I feel if they would have went that way, it would have watered it down. More so than what it already is watered down for an Eli Roth.
But it doesn't deliver a message, per se.
I think the message was clear.
What?
That the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Like, I definitely walked away from this movie not thinking that guns were bad. Like, I don't think the overuse of guns in this film were... I don't think guns were overused in this film at all. I think it's got just the right amount of like shoot 'em up kind of violence, where like it's no John Wick,
right?
Where the whole movie is just a shoot 'em up. Which, if it was, that'd have been cool because I love the John Wick movies.
And that's what I was,
kind of expecting.
I was kind of hoping for, yeah.
Bruce Willis doing John Wick would have been cool.
Yeah, I'd have liked it.
Well, I meant like just how John Wick does, like in this movie, that would have been cool.
Yeah, I would have liked that.
And like Die Hard, it's another movie that just throws logic and reason to the wind and says, you came here for Die Hard, so we're just going to, or Fast and the Furious starring Bruce Willis.
Right. Definitely not what I had expected, but like I said, I was entertained. I have no qualms with this movie.
Were you at any point expecting to find out that Vincent D'Onofrio was actually behind the home intrusion?
I
was
faking it a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like because he's like, I'm making some money now. I can pay you back.
And that was right after the break-in and everything. Like he was fencing all the stuff.
If the valet guy hadn't have taken the picture, then
But maybe the valet guy was working for Vincent D'Onofrio.
I mean, you never know. But
And like Knox was supposed to be like this mysterious figure. I'm like, and then the cops, when he finds out about Knox, the next scene is the cops go and talk to Vincent D'Onofrio.
right.
And I was like, oh man, they're on because they got evidence and they're doing police work, so they're going to find out it's Vincent D'Onofrio before Bruce Willis.
right. But
And
then
that's what I was expecting
But come to find out, they were questioning him
because
as
they thought he
they
was
thought he was the vigilante.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a point where I was kind of like, and it was right at that scene where he's like he pays him back and he's trying to take him out. He's like, yeah, I'm making some money now. And I'm thinking like, dude, it's been like not a very long time. Like, how you making $2,000?
Right.
That
That's
quick?
throwaway money.
Yeah. And still wanted to treat him to lunch.
Yeah.
You know, it was around that scene where I was kind of like, I think his brother's behind this or something.
I was waiting for him to be like, well, I might know somebody that might be able to say something. You know what I mean? I was
Right.
waiting for him to be like,
Oh,
I
that
know,
too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I might know a couple guys. You know, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So they might know something, but that's what I was expecting.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to go into this, like because I know these people are cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knox is a bad dude.
I was actually expecting, like later on in the film, after they had questioned him about being the vigilante, the D'Onofrio, and he's chilling in Bruce Willis's basement, and he like finds all his guns and weapons and stuff laid out, or bullets or whatever. I thought for sure he was going to give him like a solid alibi, like, yeah, my brother's here, like we've been here all night.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that's the route they were going to go with it, but instead he was just like, nope, he's not here. He's got a dinner party.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's been out all night. I'm thinking like, why wouldn't you just say he's been with you all night? Like that's an airtight alibi right there.
Right.
You know, but
He's been on the internet talking with hot babes
Yeah.
all day.
don't be jealous that
Yeah.
he's been chatting with online with hot babes all day. I honestly, the guy who plays Kip would have been a great main character in this film. No, not really.
Paul Kersey.
Yeah, not really. But no, I mean, what else is there to say about this flick, man? It's not overly violent.
It's not racially insensitive.
No, I mean,
The DJs go out of the way to kind of discuss: is he a white guy killing black people or Mexican? Is it race related? And they're like, no.
the lady
'cause
was
he's
like,
killing-
no, he's killing bad guys. He's
Yeah.
killing drug dealers. You know. Now, what do you guys think, Dusty B? Do you think that more people should be kind of vigilantes and take matters into their own hands when the cops can't do anything about it?
Yes and no. I think to a certain extent. I mean, if someone's breaking your house, you have the full right to kill them.
Right.
You know, if they're, that's how I feel. I don't think going out and, taking revenge on somebody's, I don't know.
But are you
That
comfortable?
just takes, I don't know. It's just that's a risk. That's pretty risky.
Are you comfortable with the idea of somebody other than the police patrolling the streets and trying to protect people and save lives?
Oh, man. Miffy. Oh, yeah. Yes and no. I don't know. I'm like,
I think the only thing that separates a vigilante from a cop is the cop has formal training.
yeah.
That we
and,
well, the vigilante could be
Yeah.
like ex-military or something. I mean,
Well,
you
yeah.
never know.
but
In this case, he wasn't. He was just a doctor. You know.
I think cops kind of have, I don't say think, they have a little bit more leeway if something would to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the whole point of like being like a vigilante, and I hate to bring it back, like Batman, you know,
But he never really tried not to kill anybody, though.
Batman tries to not kill people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But to a certain extent, he's kind of like Batman.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he's a vigilante in that sense, but
if I was in,
he does
More like the Punisher.
peel caps.
Yeah. If I was in his shoes, he didn't have a vest. I would have definitely bought a vest, like
Yeah.
a bulletproof vest. That's what I would have been walking around with that.
I don't know.
I
If
wouldn't
you,
have
I don't know
been-
if you noticed this, but those were bulletproof hoodies
Yeah.
that he was rocking. Yeah,
Yeah, but that would have been like, besides the gun, that would have been the first thing I would have bought is a vest.
a little bit
A
of
little plate
extra
carrier.
protection.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
would have walked around Chicago with a pistol and a hoodie on, and that's it.
Right.
He did get shot a couple times in the movie though too.
Yeah, he got shot in the shoulder. Well, he got shot in the
Twice
shoulder
in the
twice.
shoulders.
Yeah, and then
cut his hand. That was it.
Yeah, because he had his hand too far up, and the slide got it. So,
Right.
at first, I was confused at what happened because I was kind of like the car drove by. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
it
I thought
happened,
something
and I was kinda
ricocheted.
Like, yeah, so did I. But I was like, when they're like, "Oh well," and it didn't hit me till they said it. Like, "Oh, he had his hand too far up on the gun and the slide,"
Right.
which hurts like a bitch. If anybody's ever done that, it does not feel pretty.
Never done that.
Yeah.
I've been pretty careful with handguns. But Tim, what do you think, man? Is vigilante justice a good thing?
Two sides. I think if people as a culture adopted vigilante justice as a more acceptable means of defense,
Right.
I think there would be more violence in general, because if people are answering violent crimes with violent justice,
Right.
then violence would become more acceptable, and therefore people would be more apt to become passionately violent in their own personal affairs.
I
If you
think.
find out that your wife's cheating on you, you'd be like, well, I'm serving up vigilante justice.
Yeah.
Right.
I can
You
see
know what I
that.
mean? But that being said, when the Guardian Angels were big in like the early 90s,
Right. I remember them.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Like the patrolling and
They never carried weapons though.
No, they didn't.
No, I didn't think they carried like nightsticks or anything. I don't think.
I think I'm not sure
may have
about
had
that. I
batons
think they
or
have
something.
batons and stuff.
Yeah. They
Because
definitely
they
had
were-
berets.
Yeah, they were bad. You
Yeah.
know, like they did rough people up and stuff.
Right.
And that was, I think, proven to be pretty much effective. I don't know why it isn't like something that we still talk about today.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember them?
Mm-mm.
They wore like red jackets and berets. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm perfectly fine with that, like patrols and stuff like that.
Like a neighborhood watch kind of thing?
Yeah. But I think like the way this movie has like vigilante justice, if more people were like that, there would be more violent crimes.
No, see, I'm the exact opposite. I think if
People be on their toes. Like,
I think
"Don't mess up."
I think more people would mind their own business and not mess with, do stuff like, I'm not going to go bang that dude's wife because, vigilante justice, he could, if he
But
finds
that's-
out he could kill me, I ain't going to do that,
Mm.
Or maybe more people would be apt to do it. I don't know. But I'm a firm believer in the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Mm.
Because criminals don't follow the law, obviously. So even if you took away everybody's guns,
Right.
criminals are still going to get guns.
It's a constant.
Yeah.
Crime is a constant.
Yeah.
Violence is a constant.
Right. And I think as society, we've kind of, like you said, we've accepted the violence. Maybe not. It's kind of like a, how can I say this here? We've accepted like fake violence, and like we're hungry for the shoot 'em up John Wick style movies and stuff. But then when it comes to like real violence, like we've totally pussified that people can't handle it. They're like, oh my God, I saw that on TV, but then I saw it in real life, and now I'm gonna have to go see a therapist twice a week for the rest of my life. And in a way, I'm not okay with that.
But there's always been, I mean, like Romans had gladiators,
Right.
There's always that, like I said, violence is a constant. And like you said, we are hungry for that drama, the violence or the drama in violence.
Right.
But I don't know if I agree with the way you said it, pussification. I think there are people that are just naturally attuned, or
let me say this: we have grown hungry for the drama associated with violence. We watch shows like Cops and real life shows about real life drama, like reality shows and stuff like that. We want the drama, maybe not so much the violence, but we want that drama until it's
in our face.
And then we're like, oh no, I'm good.
Right,
Yeah, I'm
right.
good.
I got you.
Right.
We want it at arm's length.
Right. We want to be able to see it on TV, but not in real life. But in those situations like that, heroes are born in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody steps up to the plate, they've had enough with whatever somebody's doing.
But that's the drama and violence.
That's true. Touche.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an issue with being prepared, though.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I think everybody should be prepared.
Yeah, that's another issue. Nobody thinks like they said in the movie. It's like everybody relies on cops, and they're not prepared.
The cops always show up after the crime.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
nobody's prepared, like you said.
You're a statistic then, so it's good to be prepared.
Yeah.
But that being said, this movie showed you that, just having a gun, like, he was lucky in that first encounter with the carjacker. I mean, if that, he got the guy because he was in the car and driving. If that guy, if it was a one-on-one and that slide, like if it was in the fence shop, I'm talking about the bowling ball scene. If he didn't know how to hold a gun in that scene, he would have died.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, he really got lucky, guardian angel on him when he was in the carjacking scene. Because a mistake like that...
If he hadn't have shot the guy...
He wasn't ready.
The guy could have, like, drove the car and ran him over.
Right.
But,
I mean, if that slide had got him in the first, pull of the trigger and he didn't hit anything and he screwed his hand up, they would have killed him.
Oh, yeah.
So, having a gun... and saying I'm prepared is
not
always...
not having a gun is just does not mean you're prepared.
Right.
You have to work your way around that gun. You're supposed to, you shoot the gun on a monthly to weekly basis.
You should be prepared not only with having
a
said
gun,
weapon,
but also
knowing how to use it.
How to use it, and, certain ranges, things like that, or certain angles. So that's what I mean by prepared.
But when fight or flight kicks in, that adrenaline's going.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But the more prepared you are,
the more you're ready to handle that situation. Yeah, something could go down, you could screw up, but if you're trained.
Everybody would have to go through training and exercise and preparation in order to be that vigilant.
And that's not a bad thing, in my opinion.
But is it mandatory?
I wouldn't make it mandatory.
Because there's always going to be sheep and there's always going to be sheep dogs. So how many of the sheep have to be willing to become, like how many of us need to be that vigilant? You know what I'm saying?
Need or want?
Well, I mean, I think that there's you can't say just because someone had their house broken into and were murdered, you can't be like, well, that's, victims of the wolves, like they should have been sheep, they should have been prepared. Not everybody is that equipped to be prepared. That's just not the focus of their lives.
Right.
So I don't think putting that responsibility on everybody's shoulders is really a fairness.
Well, if you look at countries like I think it's like Norway or Sweden or something, like they make it mandatory that every house have a gun. Gun violence is down because bad guys know that everybody's armed. So I think if everybody's armed, you're going to see a huge decline in crime because bad guys aren't going to take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't take that risk. I wouldn't try to kick in somebody's door knowing they had a gun in there.
Yeah.
That's true.
It just depends on how comfortable you are.
Yeah.
If
it's not for everybody.
A gun, it's not for everybody. If that person doesn't want, I sleep better at night knowing I got got my magazines loaded and I got a pistol in my room. So if somebody were to break in and I get to them before they get to me, heck yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
I mean,
I definitely sleep better at night.
Yeah.
Knowing that I could, but then again, at the same time, every little creak in the floor and everything, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Is it a bad guy coming to get me? But I'm not like, I've never gotten up and gotten my gun and like walked down the hall like, well, what was that noise?
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
That's an angle of the film that I was wanting to see but never happened because there was a couple times where he's falling asleep and then like he grabs the gun.
Yeah, you see.
Or at
him
least one
with
time
it.
he pulls it up next to him.
Right.
And I was like, man, there's no paranoia. Like there's like he's done stuff and he's gone out there and he's been like leaked live. So I was just surprised that
moved,
like
man.
Yeah.
After that happened, I can't stay in that
I
house.
don't think I'd want to stay in that house.
Yeah,
right.
I would have moved first thing when I was like, well, selling the house.
For sure.
Out of here. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I would have moved until my daughter came out of the coma.
But then again, would you become the vigilante while you're still living in that house? Could you become the vigilante while you're still living in that house?
I mean, I'd probably be house shopping, Like, I'm just going to cruise up the street here and try to find a house. Oh, look, there's some bad guys. Let's jump out and take care of business here. I got to meet the real estate agent at 8. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Yeah, I was expecting, or maybe that's an area of Paul Kersey that I would like to have seen explored a little bit more.
Right.
Having done something, because like a criminal always returns to the scene of the crime mainly out of paranoia.
Which they did at the end of the film.
What do you mean?
The guy who was alive, he went back to the scene of where it all happened to try to like kill him and his daughter again.
Yeah.
So, all right, we've gone off on a tangent. It's getting kind of late here on the East Coast. I want to thank everybody for staying up with us, watching us live. If you have watched us live, we haven't had any comments on the live feed here. But in my opinion, Death Wish might not be for everybody, but for me, I liked it. I say watch it. Dusty B?
Watch it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's got good replay value.
I say it has good replay value. I say watch it on VOD though. I don't know if this is a theater. I could see much more catching this on a Netflix or like a Hulu or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Get your action fix.
Yeah.
A good Sunday afternoon. Kids are playing in their rooms, and you're like, "Ooh, Death Wish is on."
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So I say watch it. You say watch it. You say watch it too.
Yeah, but more. I don't know if this is like a rush out and watch it. It's not Black Panther. Watch it.
No, it's definitely not one of those huge blockbuster hits that's gonna tear up the, all the weekend records or anything like that. But it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, from start to finish. I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, but I wasn't. I was disappointed in Eli Roth and the blood and the gore, but I think he pulled through on it, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, go watch Death Wish, or wait a couple months and watch it on Netflix or video on demand, or rent it at Redbox or something. I think it's good. I think you could rent it, bring it home, maybe watch it with the old lady, and be all like, "Yeah, baby, I'd totally go out and kill for you." It might earn you some brownie points there. So go out, check out Death Wish. That's really all I got to say about that. I would like to say catch us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all that stuff. Yep. KYHBB.com. Go there. You can listen to this podcast as well as all the other podcasts that are available through the KYHBB Podcast Network. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. You'll see it in the graphic at the end. I really ain't got nothing else to say other than good night. Sweet dreams. Keep your pistols close. And that is a wrap, folks.
Bye.
Later.
Yeah.